and Eric Devendorf.
What's going on, E? How you feeling, man?
I'm pretty good, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I know you're feeling good, man. Your Knicks up 2-0, man. They've been beating up on the Celtics. The Celtics have been favored, so it's been some good things going on with the Knicks. But what's been going on with you, man? How's the week been?
Man, it's been good, man. But I got to, go back to the Knicks, man. Like, nobody really gave them a chance, especially to win game 2. Like, they were like, yeah, there's no way that possible that they're going to win. And I will say that I don't think they should keep the strategy of having to battle back from 20 points down. I don't think that's a great strategy, you know what I mean? But it's been working, but I wouldn't keep trying to do that, you know what I mean, throughout the entire series. But no, they've been playing great, you know what I mean? I got to give a quick shout out to Mikal Bridges because he got so much heat earlier in the season. His shot wasn't falling, and they were like, okay, this is a terrible pickup. We should not. All the media was just on him, and he made the 2 game-winning plays on the defensive end both games. Like, he made the game-winning plays. Like, it was so big shout out to him. Everybody fill out their apology forms, who was all trashing him and downing him. But hey, saying much respect to him.
Well, that was kind of the reason I think they picked him up. I mean, he wasn't really known as a great shooter, right? But defensively, he's a guy that could guard multiple positions. Like, he could guard 1 through probably 4, I guess now how the league is. But I mean, that's what the pickup was for defensively. And then guys like Josh Hart, like he's a guy on both ends, but offensively, like, he's really starting to pick it up. And again, he's not known as like a shooter, but he's been hitting an open 3. And you see how Boston's been playing him, going under everything and just letting him open. He's been knocking it down, especially, when, Jalen Brunson, he struggled shooting the ball last game. But he's a guy that, I mean, come on, he's always going to be there. He's always going to be a guy who wants the ball in those moments. But and then we didn't even mention Karl Anthony Towns. Like, I mean, he's a guy who'll give you 30, 40 like on any given night, but it seems like he's doing his work quietly. But he had a double-double. I don't know what he finished up with, but I mean, they got some talented guys over there, man. And obviously the Celtics are favored and, defending champs or whatever. But hey, man, I think it'd be awesome for the league if the Knicks just go on that type of run, get to the, get to the conference finals and then get to the finals. Because, I mean, let's be real, man. Like, cities like New York, LA, I guess you'd say Miami, like when teams do good in those cities, like it's just better for the whole league overall, especially, in New York and in the history that they have in the Knicks. So it's pretty cool to see them, go up 2-0. Now, can they continue it, especially going home? They got the momentum. I mean, if you can win in Boston, right, sweep in Boston, you going back to the crib. I mean, hey, I'm not going to say it's going to be a sweep, but they if they go up, win one game, just split. Just split, at home, it's going to be tough for Boston.
I love to see when different media people have to eat their words. So Colin Cowherd said that the Knicks would not win another game. This is after the first game that they won. He said the Knicks are not going to win another game in the entire series. I'm like, wow, that's a lot. You know what I mean? And, Paul Pierce, I know he has bias, but he was guaranteeing that, the Knicks would not win in game 2, or he would like walk to the studio in his bathrobe naked, something crazy. And
well, he did it.
And he did it, right. But I'm just saying, I love, and Scalabrini, everybody that listens to NBA TV on Sirius XM, he was talking about how he said before, the Knicks aren't even on the same level as the Celtics. That was what he said, something to that effect. It's not a direct quote, but something to that effect. And I just love seeing those guys just have to eat their words. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Knicks. I hope they keep going.
Man, they're gritty though. Like they got a gritty and grimy team who like they want to get after. You talk about Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart. Like those guys kind of set the tone, and even Jalen Brunson. Like I don't. Besides all the flopping and stuff, like he's a guy he wants to get in there and mix it up. Like especially in the playoffs, like you have to have guys like that who want to get in the mix and are not afraid to get dirty, get on the floor with it. And I think Knicks have that type of team, man.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that flopping. Like, I can't, I'll be like, bro, would you just play? Let me ask you this, because this ties in, we didn't do that, talking about Syracuse, didn't do that as much last year, but we have in the past where there's this new age of basketball where the analytics tells you that it's a higher percentage of a shot to shoot a 3-pointer than it is a 2-pointer. So you have different, I saw the statistic for the first 2 games, the Celtics missed, I think it was like 70 3-pointers, 72 3-pointers, something like that.
I saw it was 25 of 100 or something.
In 2 games. So that the first game when they lost, they shot 45 3-pointers. I hate that basketball where you pass up a layup or a 3-pointer. No mid-range. Mid-range is just completely dead now, and they just want to just do all 3-pointers. And you see it in college basketball as well. We didn't fall into that category last year as much. I thought sometimes we might have taken more threes, or the emphasis had been on 3-pointers a little bit more because we weren't making them. Now, if you're making them, you can't say nothing. You know what I mean? If you're Steph Curry and you're shooting an unbelievable amount of threes and you're making the majority of them, can't nobody say anything. But if you're missing, wouldn't it make more logical sense to try something else? Like, help me out with that logic, because I'm not a big analytics guy, but help me out with the logic.
No, agreed. I mean, I'm not a big analytics guy at all. And I think, in some parts of the game, it's messed it up. Like when you have an open opportunity to get into the lane and to create something, not only, for yourself, but for your teammates. We all know when, as a basketball player, when you're able to get to your spots on the floor, especially inside the paint or inside that mid-range, it's going to collapse the defense. Not when you collapse the defense, it's up to you to make a decision as a player, right? Because things are going to be open, whether it's a drive and kick, whether it's a lob, whether it's a drop, or whether it's just your own shot, whatever it is. And I think, when they say the mid-range is dead, it is. Now it's more so transition threes or just getting up and down, transition dunks and playing, which is exciting basketball, which is entertaining basketball at times. But when you're talking about the Celtics shooting 25 for 100, when you're shooting that many threes in 2 games, now you're just jacking, right? You're jacking and stacking a lot of misses. You know what I mean? And it's not playing the game the right way. You want to be able to get in the lane, penetrate, create mismatches for the defense, rotate the defense, shift the defense. That's how basketball is played. How can you play basketball if you're being told to, hey, shoot 3 or go all the way to the hole? It's so many opportunities in that middle of the floor, in that mid-range area. And that's how I was taught how to play. Like, you want to be able to get in those gaps, and then once you're getting in those gaps, that's when you have decisions to make, right? If you're just swinging the ball around the perimeter, how easy is that for the defense to play, right? They're not really moving side to side because they're already in help, and now you're swinging around the perimeter. Now you're just 1-2 steps away, and you're just getting a hand up. But guys are shooting those contested threes, and you see it's not really working out for the Celtics, right? It works sometimes because these guys are such good players and such good shooters, but especially in the playoffs when it's time to lock in and really lock down, the scouting reports are even a little bit tighter. Like, you got to just play basketball and be able to get in there and make decisions and make reads. And I think it's messed up the youth basketball part because these – Ian, tell me if I'm wrong. So, and I was talking to this with my boy the other day. I think like these generations now, they're really skilled, like talented and like physically, you can see the athleticism and things like that. But man, these kids don't know how to make a decision. Like the IQ is down drastically, right? Making a decision like run, jump, skill wise, good. But man, they can't get in there and make a read off a pick and roll or a drive and kick. They don't even. And that's the whole thing of the game. You got to learn how to play the game and know how to play the game. You're not just running and jumping.
But see, I fault the coaching. I fault the analytics. It tells you that either it's a 3-pointer or it's a layup, and there's nothing else in between. You know what I mean? The mid-range are now, many coaches say they're a bad shot. The mid-range jumper in the paint, you know what I mean? What Kawhi did for years, you know what I mean? All these guys really mastered the mid-range. MJ, he didn't shoot 3-pointers at a high volume.
Kobe.
Mid-range, Kobe. Right, and now all of that is just thrown away because Golden State Warriors had some good years of shooting a lot of threes in high volume. You know what I mean? So what I hope that, because the NBA is a copycat league. The teams that win, then they think, okay, this is what needs to be done, or this is the formula for success. So I definitely hope Boston loses. You know what I mean? But I hope these teams that shoot high volume, I hope of threes, I hope they lose, and somebody else playing a different format wins, and then wins a few years, and then I think then you'll see a shift. I'm still holding hope for somebody like Embiid to come back and for the big man to come back, but he got to be healthy first for you to even make that, case. But right. I hope that at least not the high volume threes and people see that method is not effective anymore and it goes away. Then it'll trickle down to college, then it'll trickle down to youth sports, and then the mid-range will come back. That's what my hope is.
And even when you see a guy with like 30, 35 points, you see what he was shooting from the field. It's like 12 for 30. Like, man, right. You better get 30 points off of 30 shots. But and then you like go overseas. Like these guys, like in those high level European leagues, like those guys are only shooting 10 shots. Right. It might be like 7 for 10 or 8 for 10 or whatever it is. But that's why these European players are able to come over here and really excel at a high level, because they are learning how to play the game. They're learning how to make decisions. Like you see all these skill trainers over here, they're teaching a whole bunch of skills, whatever, combo, crossover, step backs, whatever. They're not teaching you how to make a decision or how to make a read, or when you get to this spot on the floor, this is where the defense is going to be. This is where the defense is going to shift to. Now, once you know where the defenders are at, you can see who's open, or you can see who's making. If you know all the options you have on the floor, once you get to a breakdown spot, it's nothing really a defender could do. Either you're going to have your own shot or you're going to be able to hit somebody that's wide open. But these kids nowadays, even in the NBA, they're not able to make a decision. They're just getting by a lot of time, especially in the regular season, from like run and gun, their athletic ability. And let's be real, 82 games, not a lot of defense is being played in the regular season. Let's just be honest. So a lot of times people can be tricked in the regular season. But when you get into the playoffs, and look, Golden State's going to have to deal with it now with Steph out. Like they're not going to have Steph to bail them out hitting unreal contested threes, right? They're going to have to play really, really solid basketball. Offensively, they're going to have to execute, move the ball, get to their spots, and then make decisions. And then defensively, they're just going to have to try to create havoc. But if you take, it's crazy because you take that one guy out, now you really have to play super efficient basketball. Right. And I just think now in like America, it's not efficient basketball anymore, man. Even if you are scoring 40 points, you're shooting 30 shots to get it.
Well, one thing I do like, and I hope that they have a lot of success because I'm a big fan of theirs. I don't want to mess up their names, but it's the Thompson twins. There's one in Detroit, and then there's one. Them. I absolutely love them, and they play hard, and they're great defenders. I hope they have a lot of success because they're somebody that can change the culture of the league to have the point of emphasis shift more towards defense again. But they have to have success doing it. So I hope they do have success. But let me just say this real quick before I know we have to go to a break. I keep seeing a lot of things about the injuries that the Celtics have, that Porzingis is sick, that Jaylen Brown is his knee is hurting, and I think there's a few more that are a little bit banged up, and they didn't say that last year when they went through a depleted Philly team. They said, "Oh, we have to just play the people that were dealt with." And they were, so now that y'all have some guys that are banged up and everything like that, I don't want to hear no excuses. I don't want to hear any of that. You know what I mean? Once you step on the court, once you're out there, you're out there. You have to take your losses and chalk it up to y'all missing 75 threes or how many it was, but not because y'all are banged up. I don't want to hear that excuse at all.
Everybody's dealing with that, E. Everybody's dealing with injuries. Everyone, even if the media is not putting it out there, people are dealing with the bruises and soreness or whatever. That's regular stuff. Yeah. So to bring that up, that's an excuse, man. Play better. That's it. Let's go and take our first break. Yeah, I saw that stat, man.
You saw that? He said, I was trying to think of a man. I can't remember. He's like my favorite player on the team too, the point guard. Sometimes I'll be not coming up with names like on the spot. What's my man, the point guard that came over from Milwaukee? That's really like the reason why they won last year. The reason why Milwaukee.
What are you talking about?
Lockdown defender right on the perimeter on Celtics. Drew Holiday.
Drew, yeah.
His name, but I know he's coming back from injury too. I didn't think it was Drew. I'm a huge fan of his. I don't think he gets enough props.
No, he's a two-way player. But the Twins, I like the Twins. They play super hard. They get their buckets off like cutting to the rim and back doors, stuff like that. If they could, they just keep the game simple. It's only a few people who could just. Like Jason Tatum, man, he pound the ball so much. It's like he dribbled the air out of that thing, and then him and Jaylen Brown are kind of like, all right, my turn. Yeah. Like they playing back and forth like that.
It's just not good basketball.
No, it's not good basketball. I guess like, hey, when you're making shots and like it's a hard shot, step back, but whatever, it's fun to see. But yeah, Jason Tatum, you shooting 12 or 30.
Man, do something else, man.
No,
that one play that he drove length of the court, it was terrible defense by the Knicks, though. But it was like towards the end, and he had under the basket, on the other opposite side, drove the length of the court, crossed over once, crossed over again, and dunked. I was like, bro, why don't you do that more often? Why don't you drive to the hole more often?
Yeah. He take difficult shots, man.
Hard shots.
They make it hard on themselves, man. But again, he gonna get all the shots anyway, so it's not like nobody's telling him no, don't shoot it. Like he's gonna keep shooting the ball.
He's gonna keep shooting it.
Yeah, you want to come back and talk about that's funny, dude. They just said new Pope went to Nova. I saw that.
Yeah.
He's a Chicago guy.
Chicago, yeah.
He went to Villanova. That's crazy.
It is.
Yeah, we could talk about Tyler Betsy real quick coming back. He's
cool.
I don't know much about him, but
I don't know.
He's a shooter.
I saw what he signed.
6'8" shooter, athletic. Go ahead, Paulie.
When you think Nova basketball, who do you think of?
Say it again.
That?
First name that comes to your mind with Nova.
Kerry Kittles.
Oh,
me too.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep, Kerry Kittles.
There's not even a question for me.
Yeah, I guess when I was playing
what about you? Who did you pick, Paulie?
That Kerry Kittles was my thought too.
Okay,
yeah. I guess when I think the first was because I played against him, it was the three guards: Allen Ray, Kyle Lowry, Randy Foye.
Yeah.
Like that was a crazy trio right there.
That's a trio. That's just because you're younger, though.
Yeah, no, Kerry Kittles was, no doubt. Kerry Kittles, yeah.
I mean, if Tim Thomas would have stayed longer, he only stayed 1 year and just killed for that 1 year and then bounced.
Dang, I forgot about Tim Thomas. He was
he was my high school class in '96. He was right
he only
there.
Did 1 year?
He was right there with Kobe and Winford Walton. You remember Winford Walton?
From Detroit.
Yeah, from Detroit.
Oh, where did I build the extra break?
Listen, if Winford Walton, it was Kobe, Winford Walton, and Tim Thomas. Those were the three.
And he was supposed to go to Michigan, right? Winford Walton, something happened.
No, he was going to come to Syracuse. He was in my class.
What happened though? Something happened.
Well, so he came on campus, and then there was something with a test score, with an SAT test score, and something like that. Then they didn't let him come, but he was on campus. We was all freshmen together.
He was a beast. He went to Pershing.
I got a great story that I got to tell you one time when all the freshmen scrimmaged all the upper class, the seniors that had left. Also, it was Otis Hill and John Wallace and Lazard Sims. Like that whole group when they just came back from the Final Four, and
where did that break go?
We scrimmaged them.
I don't know.
Man, Winford Walton. I heard stories about him because
he could literally do everything that John Wallace could do. At that point, he could do everything.
Yeah, Detroit Pershing, man.
Yeah, Pershing. Yep.
Man, did he pass?
Yeah, he passed like about a year or two ago. Yeah,
that's right. You know who knew him real well too was Todd Bergen.
Todd Bergen. Yeah, that was his man.
TB, that was his man. Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually
TB went to Pershing too. TB went to Pershing. Yeah.
We were roommates.
East side Detroit, man.
Yeah.
That's in the mix right there. I tell you what, Pershing is in the mix. They right in it.
Mix, huh?
Yeah. They got some players though. Kevin Willis. Oh, if you want to go way back.
Yeah.
Live from the Harding Mazzotti studio. Hurt your body? Call Harding Mazzotti. 1-800-LAW-1010. ESPN Radio 97.7, 100.1, 1200 AM and 1440 AM. Watch your favorite ESPN Syracuse sports talk shows on QSportsTalk.com. This is the Etan and Devo Show. Here are former Syracuse standouts Etan Thomas and Eric Devendorf.
Hey, E, man, I wanted to talk about the latest pickup for the Cuse. 6'8" forward, Tyler Betsy from Cincinnati. So he played his freshman year at Cincinnati. Didn't get a lot of time. I think he played like 11 minutes a game, averaged like 3 points, a couple rebounds. So the stats don't stick out at you. Mm-hmm. But so look, here's my thing on this team now, on this roster. I think you have 3 proven guys, right? 3 proven guys. So JJ Starling, I would say Donnie Freeman. I say he proved himself. Feel like it. Obviously, he's proved himself. And then Nate George, right? For the transfer coming from Georgia. Those are the 3 proven guys that we probably know what we're going to get from those guys, right? Everybody else on the team, you don't really know what you're going to get, right? But you're hopeful because I think they fit what we would say Syracuse basketball is as far as athleticism, as far as versatility, like on both ends of the ball, right? You got a lot of 6'8", to 6'10", long athletic guys who could switch defensively. You got more shooters. So these guys fit the bill, right? 3 guys that are proven, and then these rest of these guys, they fit the bill, but they're just going to have to be coached up. They're going to have to be developed, and they're going to have to be put in situations where they can succeed, right? But I really like what the coaching and all along, E, we've been saying this, and I know we get different comments here and there or whatever. We're criticizing, we're doing this. I don't know where people come up with that stuff because we've always said that we thought the coaching staff's done a good job with this roster, right? It always, if anything, it always went back like to the NIL. That's what we kind of were talking about. We never once criticized the roster, right? I think this roster is great. I think the makeup is great. I think it's a versatility, athleticism. I think it's back to running, running, gunning, getting up and down. But besides these 3 guys, these other guys has to be coached up. Like Tyler Betsy was a top 50 player coming out of high school in the country, right? So he's super talented. He's 6'8". In the beginning of the season, he was shooting 40% from the 3. So if you're shooting 40% from the 3 and you're 6'8", I mean, we're definitely going to take that. I read a little bit into his bio. I think he's looking to play the 3 or the 4. Mm-hmm. The reason that he came to Syracuse was, Red and coaching staff said that they're going to give him an opportunity to come in and play. I mean, and that's all you could ask for, any player coming in. You just want an opportunity to come in and prove yourself and play. And then if you do well, take advantage of the opportunity. Obviously, you're going to earn yourself the playing time. But overall, my take from this team, I like it. I think it is a NCAA tournament caliber team, depending on what these other guys do. Look, we know the talent, the freshmen's coming in. We know, we got the versatility and athleticism with a lot of these transfers from the portal. We got the 3 proven guys, right? You got to put these guys in a situation to succeed. You got to develop them throughout the year. Not saying these guys are going to take leaps and bounds in their skill or whatever it is. But how can you feed these guys confidence to where they're really succeeding in their role? What's your take, E, overall? Just because now this is the roster right here. Mm-hmm. This is a Syracuse roster. I don't think they're going to add anybody else. I think this is it. This is what we have. So from what you see on the roster, from the athleticism, the height, the versatility, what's your take going into next year?
I think that the coaching staffs did a great job with the resources that they were given. And I think that's, we always talk about NIL, so this isn't necessarily an NIL discussion. But, I think that the makeup of the team with the things that we had to be able to address of our deficiencies throughout the season, you can see where they attempted to address those. The rim protection, the ability to get up and down, the athleticism. We definitely needed a point guard. We needed some outside shooting. I think that from the only question mark would probably be defense, because that was a real point of emphasis last year that we were really lacking in. And so you're gonna have to be able to bring defense out of players that might not have been like defensive specialists, but as a whole unit, as a collective unit, then they have to be able to work on a string. And that's where just the coaching comes into play. I mean, it's not like you're going to have one player that's going to lock down, all of Duke. You know what I mean? You're going to have to all work together on a string. So that's what we're going to have to see this year. And sometimes it's going to be a mixture of, you're probably going to see a little bit of zone, a little bit of man-to-man, a little bit of press, maybe a little bit of trapping, whatever the situation calls for, that's going to have to be what we're able to shift to. I don't think we're going to be able to be locked in to one defensive strategy that's going to just work for everybody. And so if there is a point of area of concern, I think it would be from the defensive side. But as far as everything else, from every position and what you have just going down the roster, I think they did a great job. I do.
Is it a NCAA tournament team from your eyes? Right. Obviously, we haven't seen these other guys play. When you look at the roster, you see the length and athleticism, everything we've been talking about, shooting ability, things like that, playmaking with Nate George. Do you see them making an NCAA tournament run?
Well, we kind of have to, and I know a lot of people got a little bit, upset at what I said. I think it was either last week or the other week where I said that this is kind of a win or go home season for us as and our coaches, and that we have to win now. But I'm not saying anything. Was that breaking news? Like, did I say something that everybody else hasn't been saying? Yes, we've missed the NCAA tournament 4 years in a row. Yes, we have to make the tournament this year. That should have been breaking news. Like, yes, we're throwing all of our support and towards the coaching staff. Yes, we're going to be critical at sometimes. Yes, we're going to praise them when they're playing well. We're not into just bashing, though. That's not what we're going to do. So some of the fans that throughout the course of the season that say that we're being too nice, we're being homers. That's a new phrase that I heard a lot this season. Y'all are acting homers. Like homers. Right. Yeah. And that, listen, we're not just here to just come on and just bash them. We can be critical. We can say, well, okay, we did not rebound well this game. We did not shoot the ball well this game. We did not execute down the stretch when we really needed it that game. We can be critical, because that's what critical analysis of the game is supposed to be. That's why we're here. That's what our job is. But as far as the confidence in the coaching staff, yes, they have to. They know what they have ahead of them, and they have to win. That if there's ever a time where it was a must-win season, this is now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, I would agree. And again, this is sports talk radio, so it's not going to be we're not going to be it's roses and flowers every single. It's going to be critiquing, right? Like you said, it's going to be, hey, I think maybe they should have been put in this position, or maybe they should have tried to do it this way. And I mean, we know a little bit. We've both played high level basketball. You played with Michael Jordan, right? You were the NBA for double digit years. You know what I mean? So it's not like this is coming out of left field, right? We have experience in this sport, and I think we've earned enough to be able to talk about it and critique a little bit, right? It's not criticism. I guess it'd be constructive criticism, and a lot of people they can't handle that. So just remember, guys, this is a sports talk radio. This is what it's supposed to be. You don't got to get don't get too much into your feelings about it, because this is nothing personal. It's sports talk radio. We're talking about sports, and when it comes to sports, sometimes critiquing comes with that. That's just how it goes, man. But I know we have to take another break, and we have a pretty awesome guest, a familiar face to the Syracuse program, the Syracuse community. We're going to be coming on talking with Buddy Boeheim. We're talking about this upcoming TBT that's July 19th through the 23rd at OCC. Buddy and his brother is playing. Jimmy, along with Elijah, and Coach is going to be honorary coach, I guess. I guess he's not going to be on the bench, but he's going to be involved in some type of way. And we'll talk about all that with Buddy when he comes on. We'll see you guys in a minute.
All the drama.
Buddy.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, buddy? How you feeling?
I'm doing well. How about you? It's good to see you.
Good, man. Good to see you too.
Yes, sir. What's up, E?
Hold up.
What was that?
Appreciate you coming on. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. Appreciate you guys having me.
All good, man.
Yes, sir.
So where are you right now?
I'm in Scan. I'm at the lake with the family right now. Skinny Atlas.
Yeah,
But it's 50 and cloudy out here, so not much going on.
I hear you.
Yeah, man, it's crazy out here. I'm out in Pompey, and it's like, man, the fog is so thick.
Yeah, no, it's can't even get outside really.
E,
But
have
at
you been out this
Syracuse-
way in Q's? E, you been out to like Pompey, Lafayette?
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's probably like 20-25 minutes from the Q's.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, bud, we'll just chop it up. Like we'll start with like just kind of catching up about like the G League and the season, and then we'll kind of go into TBT.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds great. Looking forward to it.
Sweet.
Yes, sir.
Oh, they banned my man's girlfriend. Belichick.
What happened?
They banned Belichick's girlfriend.
Who?
Remember we was talking about Bill Belichick and his girlfriend?
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
Oh, yeah. Can you turn that radio down a little bit?
There we go. Yeah, they
All right,
banned her from the facilities, from the football facilities. UNC did. I'm telling you, man, something was weird with that, man. Like it was a weird setup.
Yeah, that's supposed to be his granddaughter.
His granddaughter. Crazy. That's just gross. I'm not judging nobody, but yuck. That's gross.
Man, she 22 years old, man. My man's 70, bro. He was born. She was born. She was 50. He was 50 when she was born. He's 50. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
That's crazy, man.
I saw something. I'm not saying you can't fall in love with the age gap like that, but man, listen. I think Robert Griffin was it Robert Griffin? Is that how you said, the old quarterback?
Yeah, RG3.
Yeah, RG3. He was talking about it. He was like, man, I know love has no boundaries, but come on, man. Like this one right here. Jeez.
Some boundaries.
Yeah, come on, Bill. Like, Bill just don't care.
Yeah.
Nah. Yeah.
That's funny.
She should be ashamed of herself, though.
She's not, though.
Yeah, she's not. Well, that's the problem.
She feels just fine. She sleeps very well at night.
She probably thinks they're doing her wrong too. UNC.
So the chat says one of the kids in my neighborhood, his parents were 35 years apart. All right, that's a lot.
35 years apart is a lot, but his is 50.
Yeah, 50.
It's a whole different ball game, though.
Dude, my parents are 20, and people always ask me if my dad's my grandfather. I can't imagine 50. Is that your great grandfather?
That's funny.
Yeah, 50 years off the chain, man. 50 years, my guy. You supposed to, like, RG3 was like, you supposed to be on the beach chilling with your partner, who's also 70.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Bill can't. Man, look, it's like he's been in it so long, he can't get away from it. The game, like it's just, it's with like a lot of coaches, man.
That's
yeah,
funny.
nah, I get it. Get the coaching part for sure.
Yeah, right. I get the coaching part. Shit, you know what I'm saying? I get the coaching part.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
30 seconds?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
He's already bought her 6 houses. Dang.
He bought her
What?
six houses?
Yeah, she's like a real estate mogul now. Ever since she started dating him,
Real estate mogul. Yeah, get out of here.
she made like millions of dollars off of real estate from him.
Yeah, I saw her portfolio was like 10 million now, or something like that.
Body, call Harding, Missouri.
Unreal, Bill.
1-800-LAW-1010. ESPN Radio 97.7, 100.1, 1200 AM and 1440 AM. ESPN 97.7 and 100.1. Watch live on QSportsTalk.com. This is the Etan and Devo Show. Here are former Syracuse standouts Etan Thomas and Eric Devendorf.
What's going on, everybody? We're back. We're back with our guest. Like we said earlier, a familiar face. Everybody in the Syracuse community knows who this is. We'd like to welcome in my guy, Buddy Boeheim. Buddy, what's going on, man?
How's it going, guys? Great catching up, and thanks for having me on.
Buddy
Good. So
Buckets.
first, buckets, man. Look, before we
Appreciate
start,
y'all, man.
Buddy is, I want to say, a top 11, top 12 scorer all-time Syracuse history. And look, I know early on, Bud, and we'll start off with this. A lot of people were down on you, Bud. Like even like growing up, high school, they didn't think you were going to be able to play at the level that you are, right? Going into Syracuse, they're like, oh, he's just going to Syracuse because his dad's the coach. All right, and then you go ahead and you score like almost 1,700 points in your career, and they're like, oh, okay, well, his dad let him shoot the ball all the time, right? and then you go to the G League, right, which your dad's not the coach anymore. He's not the coach in the G League, right? Playing against a lot of talented guys, and if people who don't know, the G League is, man, it's a tough place to play because people are hungry. Right, you got grown men in there with families trying to feed their kids, and it's super cutthroat. But you go into the G League and you have multiple games with 10+ threes. I know this season you had a game with like 12 3-pointers. Right, you fought through a lot of injuries. The last 2 seasons at Motor City Cruise, I think you averaged between 15 and 16 points with a high one season of 17, almost 18 points. In this past season, you averaged almost 11 points in dealing with a lot of injuries. But like I said, a few of those games you had 10+ threes. So just kind of talk about your journey, bro, and what it really took for you to get to this level and how you did it, despite everybody doubting you, everybody saying this and that. You continue to work hard, be in the gym, and I'm a guy who saw it firsthand. One of the hardest workers that I've ever seen. So kind of just talk about your journey a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny because, you've probably been a part of it more than anyone. 7th grade, started working out with you, and I think that really took my game to another level. Always in high school, if I was good enough, I would go to Syracuse, but only time would tell. So I was just focused on getting better every day. And once my junior year, I took a jump, had a good season on City Rocks with Isaiah Stewart and a couple other big-time players, and got that recognition I could play at a high level. And early on at Syracuse, I definitely struggled my freshman year. It was a lot of ups and downs, but really turned it around in ACC play. And I think once you prove yourself to a degree, you kind of forget about going out there and the name on the back of the jersey and trying to be good enough for the fans or being good enough to play at Syracuse. That doubt went away. So just as time went on, I think I really continued to prove myself, but it's always just getting in the gym. Something that I always heard growing up and over my career is no one's going to feel sorry for you. So that always stuck out to me. And just if I'm getting hated on or if I'm playing bad, just get in the gym and no one's going to hold your hand through it. No one's going to save you out there. You just have to continue to work, and it's whatever you put in, you're going to get out. So just continuing to do that. And then I get to the G League in Detroit my first year and struggle a little. And it's always on me here because his daddy only got a spot because of this or that. And so that was a motivating factor again, that, okay, you just keep going through these cycles. I've been here from my freshman year to sophomore to junior. And now it's another level of adversity you go through, and it's just working, it's learning and staying focused. And I'm very thankful for the summers I get here that I've had with you and Syracuse, and then using that to, start my career pro and just prove myself over time. But I think it's just about staying focused, being the best you can every day. And if, my biggest goal is to be my best every day. And if I do that, it will all work out, and kind of has. I don't try to put too much pressure on myself anymore. And I, really just want to have fun out there. And, being a pro now is great. It's not as much pressure as Syracuse and having to play well every night. So it's a lot of fun. I've had some great memories, and just thankful for where the game has taken me, and just taking it one day at a time has been my biggest thing now.
Let me ask you this, buddy. And it was always great, seeing your growth and talking to you through the years. Your freshman year, you came in. You said you had some ups and downs, but you were a little bit more of a spot-up shooter. You know what I mean? That was really what you did. And then every summer, it's like you added something to your game. Like, the next summer you came back and you was doing the 1-dribble pull-up, like, with confidence. Like, after that, it was 2 dribbles. Then you was going all the way to the hole. Then your defense was improving. So you was obviously working. Talk about that, adding something to your game every summer, and how valuable that is for players to do.
Yeah, definitely one story I have that stuck out to me was my freshman year. It was early in the season. I was struggling. I remember I put the ball on the floor one game and got ripped right away. And after the game in the locker room, my dad, pointed me out and said, never dribble again the rest of the season. So I was like, all right, this is good motivation going. I know I need to work on going into next year. So that off season, me and GMAC were in E when I could. After those workouts, we were every day getting in the gym. G really helped me. We focused on using my size, getting in the lane, because being a 6'6" guard, a lot of times I'm getting matched up with 6'2", 6'3" guys. So I can't really beat them with my quickness, but if I can get to my spot and rise up, it's a really effective shot. And my mid-range is probably better than my three-point shot. So being a elite shooter at that level helps me, makes it easy when I get in the paint. So that was the biggest focus going into that next year, knowing I would have more weight on my shoulders as a scorer. And I think each year I tried to grow something. And the year after that, it was trying to get to the paint and get to the rim. And then my last year was also making plays and being a playmaker as much as a scorer.
But talk about just you've dealt with a lot of injuries too after Syracuse, right? And that could weigh on you a lot, right? We talked about you're having a really good year. You're having games where you're getting 10+ threes, and then all of a sudden you go down with a broken thumb, right? So all the momentum, all the hard work you put into, you're doing a really good job, and then you get hurt. How you been dealing with that adversity and just kind of staying level-headed? And I guess what advice could you give for kids who they're on the same path that you're on, right? Basketball wise, and how you deal with the injuries and fighting through the ups and downs, because that's what the game of basketball is, right? What's the biggest advice you have for them dealing with those type of adversities?
Absolutely. Yeah. This season was definitely the most adversity I've faced in my career in terms of injuries, which I'm very thankful for, to be, 8 years now, probably since college playing, including pro. And, but in December, end of December, I was playing really well and, averaging about 15 and shooting above 40 from 3, which is all you can ask for in the G League, to be one of those high-level shooters. And I broke my thumb in a game, collided with a guy, and it was my right hand, unfortunately, which made it even tougher. But I went home for Christmas and then came back, and for those 2 months, I was trying to play through it. Like you said, when you're in the G League, all that matters is getting a call up. Everyone wants to be in the NBA that's in the G League. So you don't want to sit out for a month or 2 months, because that can be your season. So I'm trying to, play through that, and knowing I'm not at my best, and, it's affecting the team to a degree. It's affecting me. I'm not shooting as well as I want to. And it's just, you have to forget about that sometimes and work through it. And I think in the long run, it will help you even more when you're healthy and back good, because you're more thankful for when you're healthy compared to when you're playing through injury. But it was more just a day by day. How can I get better? How can I tolerate this pain? Doing treatment, doing extra stuff, and taking care of my body. But eventually, obviously, 2 months later, got an MRI, got an X-ray, and had to get surgery on my thumb and shut it down. But I think it's easy in that point to look back and say, man, I wasted a couple months and, could have gotten it right, gotten back for the end of the year. But I think everything's a lesson, and it makes you thankful and appreciate the game, because when I missed 2 games during that stretch and I was out there on the bench, and I told myself I can't watch these games. I need to be out there and playing, because that's all you want to do at the end of the day. You want to play. And the beautiful part about the G League is everyone loves basketball. It's not just, guys are making a ton of money and they can chill. It's everyone's trying to get to the next level, but they enjoy it. They love the game, and that's why they're there, because a lot of those guys could go overseas and play EuroLeague, play Euro Cup, and make a lot of money, but they want to stay in the States, try to get back to the NBA. But you meet a lot of good guys, and I think this year I've played with 10 or 12 guys that I'll be close with for a while, and made a lot of good memories. So, through injuries, there's going to be ups and downs as a physical game. But if you can take away the relationships you build and the everyday habits you get, even when you're not healthy, it's only going to help you when you're back 100%. So I'm really excited for this summer, going into next season, and see what I can do with a fully healthy season.
Let me ask you this. I know we gotta let you go here in a little bit, so thanks for taking the time while you're chilling on the lake, family, and everything. How much are you looking forward to TBT and coming back and playing on the team, playing in front of the Syracuse fans and everything like that? Talk about that for a little bit.
Man, there's nothing better than that experience. I'm fired up for this summer, probably more than I've ever been since I've been a pro, because I have that to look forward to. I have to get to play with Jimmy again. I get to play with Elijah again, and hopefully get some other guys the next couple weeks. But just to do that, when I was in college, I'd go and watch E get 20, 25 and be fired up for him. And I remember OCC, those games, it really felt like a Syracuse game. It felt like a smaller dome with 3,000-4,000, everyone wearing orange, it's as loud as it can be. And I remember saying to myself, I can't wait to play in this one day. And this summer it worked out perfectly. Getting my injury, not really having to be with a team right now, I get to do this. And I think it's going to be an amazing experience. My dad's going to probably be yelling on the sidelines and the stands at me and at the refs, I'm sure, as much as he can. So it's going to feel like old times. But I can't wait to just get suited up and be out there, especially with, the atmosphere that's going to be there.
That's great, man. That's great. Well, we're looking forward to it. We're going to be doing some stuff there with it. Awesome. He's going to be with him. So we're going to see you out there. Hey, we appreciate you coming on. We're always rooting for you. Syracuse always loves you. So keep doing your thing.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate you, bud.
Yes, sir.
Oh, good.
So we probably come back in this quick now, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure. We went over a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that. I should have, I should have just let him talk about the TBT instead of asking him about that.
Oh, 3 minutes is cool. Yeah, we're good. We're good.
So this is our last one, right?
For a little while, yeah.
Okay, so I guess we could just say that. And then thank everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you soon. Oh, we missed that. Matt Gavendo, buddy, would you rather? Yeah. Paul, I'm sure you guys are going to be at the TBT, right?
What was it?
Are you guys going to be at the TBT?
Yeah, we'd be doing the games.
Nice. What were you saying, E? Sorry.
Nah, I said my phone's kind of blowing up a little bit over here.
Oh, no. Yeah. If anyone, look. Okay. Yeah. Nah, that's good. I saw it.
Did you get any good intel?
Probably.
I did. I definitely did.
Did you see proof?
Yep.
We got to get people going. Okay, that's good.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay, so the receipts are there.
Receipts are there.
Yep. Supercat 610, we appreciate you, man. Yeah, we'll be back in the probably fall, but we're doing TBT stuff as well, so you guys tune in for that. We appreciate you guys tuning in, man. We actually went longer than we thought we were gonna be, so it worked out pretty good, man.
Yep.
Etan, you says, is Etan ever coming back to the area?
Yes.
I doubt that. Oh, you
No,
to live or to stay?
Oh, no,
to live or
visit.
just to come? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm gonna come to visit. Yeah, I don't know about living, but I'm gonna come to visit. Yeah, I'm hoping to come down. DC.
Yeah, right, exactly. You outside of DC, right? Are you outside of DC, Maryland?
Maryland. Yeah.
Yeah, Maryland. Yeah. Yeah, E will be back for the TBT, man. We got something going on.
Yep.
What is it? The comment section going crazy or what?
It's just blowing up a lot.
Yeah.
And some people are trying to, it's going to be a little bit of busy, probably a busy day today and tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm sure you're going to get some calls and texts. Devo, do you shop art at the Pompey Mall? No, I get gas and I get honey from there. No, there's no art to shop at the Pompey Mall, Kevin, and you know that.
You get honey there?
Huh?
They got good honey?
Yes, they got good local honey. If you out here, man, we got everything out here as far if you want.
Yeah, I don't picture you as a Pompeii guy, but that's.
Man, I'm out the way, man. I got the good land out here. Next summer I'm gonna have me a little chicken coop, get my own eggs going.
Watch your favorite ESPN Syracuse sports talk shows on QSportsTalk.com. This is the Etan and Devo Show. Here are former Syracuse standouts Etan Thomas and Eric Devendorf.
Hey, man, I know we got about 3 minutes. That's what our guy Paulie told us. So I just want to take these few minutes just to say thank you to you, E, for, obviously having me on the show with you. And I thought it was an awesome season, man. Like I said during the break, we went longer than expected. So that means we were, I guess, doing a pretty good job. So thank you. And then thanks to everyone who's tuned in, man, on QSportsTalk.com. We just appreciate all you guys, all the support, all the love. We appreciate Paulie and Jordan and Tim and everybody over at Galaxy for helping us make this happen. And look, we're not done yet. We're going to be back in the fall, E, and then we got some stuff going on for TBT. So this is just a see you later, I guess.
Yeah, no, it was good stuff. You know what I mean? And shout out to Ed Levine too. He let us kind of do our thing. And we didn't really, we knew each other beforehand, different events and stuff like that. We didn't play with each other, but I think we exceeded their expectations of how we just kind of clicked. And we just kind of had a rhythm and we just kind of kept going. So they let us go. We was really supposed to finish once the college season was over. but we went a little bit, extended. So we're gonna take a little break now, and we'll be back, and we're gonna do some more with TBT, but then we're gonna be back in the fall. So we're looking forward to it. Thanks for all the fans, for all the support. And shout out to all the sponsors that are gonna be supporting us even more. Talk to some great people that are interested and love what we're doing and love what we're doing in the community. Keeping because this was a tough year. But having that type of discussion where it's not just bashing, you're having a breakdown where you can point out positives, you can be critical as well, and still have a great discussion. So it's glad to hear that people are appreciating it, and we're gonna keep doing it. So thank y'all for tuning in, and we're back with TBT when that happens late July, and so that's what's up.
Signing off. We appreciate.